Hello again, friends. Welcome back to your halftime live 10 minutes from Talking Town, the 10 minutes where we discuss how we saw the first half and pull out a player or two we felt played well. I'm joined once again by my man, the aficionado, Stephen Thompson. Hopefully got somebody joining us. Lee might be joining us in a momento. But first of all, first half has been and gone. It's 0-0. The rain is hammering it down. The pitch is slick and fast. The tackles are flying in, Steve. Is this your classic League One dogged affair?
This is going to be a one-goal winner, isn't it? This is going to be whoever gets that first goal is going to hold out and is going to win this.
Great point. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a really dogged. Boots are flying in, missed kicks, mixed headers. They hit the bar in the first 5 minutes. It's kind of had it all inside that first 45, except the goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I thought we'd have at least one goal by now.
Yeah. I'll ask you how you thought we played in just a moment. I'll come to the comments first of all. Norman Greenwell playing their game instead of ours. Harness has been loose throughout, but he's been working hard. Lee Cole, how are we doing? Every time I check the live report, looked like Burton were on top. Joe S. Clearly missing Burns and Davis. They're very important to this team. I wish we wouldn't lower ourselves to these shit houses and play their style of football. Not clicking today, but I'm sure we'll be all right, says Lewis. Alex says Aluko's been very poor. Josh, this is why you don't change the team. James Reid, Bond not in QPR's team tonight. Make of that what you will. Very quickly, one word answer. Would you be against the Macaulay Bond return?
No.
Okay, well, I'll ask you more on that and on the full-time show. Lewis was expected. They've played 3 physical teams. No wonder they're looking better. They will tire in the second half. Will come good. Chris Boyd. The Brewers neutralising us. No real space and a lot of sloppy touches by us. Again, we lack that player with a touch of class to break down these kinds of teams. Lots of great comments. Mike D says, won't get that 45 minutes back. Zach Ward, not sticky enough in final third, particularly Harness, would swap Jackson with KVY at half time. I'll ask you for any swaps you might make at some point as well, Steve. Marcus Glading, so glad I'm not a Burton supporter. Shit football. Lee Anderson, welcome in. How have you seen that first 45?
Oh, well, we've done well to come in, I think, at 0-0. I mean, they should have scored after, 15 seconds?
Great start from them.
Well, I mean, the guys throwing the ball into the box from nearly the halfway line. And it's just difficult to defend, and they're picking up second balls, aren't they? But I think second half, Louis said, the space that is starting to open up a little bit. And I think our tactic, we've tried to play it around the back and got in trouble a couple of times, but I think we're trying to hit the front men a little bit earlier. But I think the game will open up a bit for us second half, and if we can weather that storm, then we should be okay. But how people pay to watch that every week, I don't know.
Well, we used to once upon a time under a certain Double M manager, we used to watch something very similar, and it turned crowds away. Steve, that first chance that Lee mentions there. I did say the pre-game show, after Saturday, I expect Burton and Jimmy Floyd to have his team bang up for this. They're going to come flying out of those traps. It's how you deal with it. And they did.
Yeah, I think that's what you expected, isn't it? They've not had the best start to the season. They need to get on it straight away. And yeah, absolutely, they were. Yeah.
And their pressing today, Lee, is really... It's something that we've done to other teams. They're pressing us high. They're forcing us to either want to play in tight areas on a wet pitch or forcing you to go long. Their tactics tonight, you've got to give sometimes the opposition the credit they deserve. And tonight, for me, I think Burton and Jimmy Floyd have really, you might not like it, might not be pretty, but they're tactically, first 45, really giving McKenna a tough test.
Yeah, certainly off the ball. You can't fault them off the ball. It's what they do with it. But I think after after that first chance, and I think for the next 20 odd minutes, we looked so scared to give to knock the ball out safe, sort of halfway inside our own half, because they're just gonna lob it into the box. It's almost like, well, it's worse than giving it a corner away because they're harder to defend. So I think we tried to play it a little bit more rather than knock it up. But I think we've learnt that in the last 15. We have been trying to hit on the over the top of Morsey and Evans and pick out the front sort of 3 and 4. But there's space there to be had. There's space, and there's a goal for us there somewhere. It's whether
their best chance, though, Lee, probably came outside that early throw. Probably came from our own back pass. Marcus Harness, really sloppy, delivered an absolute peach of a through ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's that overplay. We're not keeping the ball in the centre of midfield, are we? With I think I can't see on a Saturday at Portman Road where Harness would be trying to play that ball 45 yards back to the goalkeeper.
No.
He wouldn't be doing that.
Again, though.
So it is their pressing. But I think those gaps will open up, and I think there is space there between the midfield and the defence. And Aluko's picked up the ball a few times. I think Harness has. So there is space. There is space in between their two lines, and that will get better second half. But I mean, they're playing the ball into the channel just outside the box, so it doesn't go through to Walton, and they're looking to pick up
second ball,
second ball, or even throw-ins. They're turning us, aren't they? And that's the way they're doing it. But as I say, fair play to them. But we just got to stop those. If we can stop those crosses into the box, have some periods of possession, then I think we'll tire them out. So I think it's going to be a tight game.
Lots to talk about Aluko. Sorry, Lee. Lots to talk about Aluko in the chat, Steve. He made one fantastic through ball. Has he been busy enough for you, or has it been a quiet first 45? From Sonny Aluko.
I'm not won over by him this first half. I think he's like I said, that one good ball, but overall it's a bit lackluster, to be honest. Most of the squad have been really, but yeah, I want to see if he stays on for the second half. I imagine he will. Need to see a stronger second half from him. Need to show what he really can do. We've seen what he can do. What he's capable of. Need to see more of that. Get him settled into the game. And just pick it up for the second, because that was really disappointing, to be honest. Overall.
Yeah. Who stood out for you then, Lee, for that first 45?
What, for us?
Yeah, for us.
I think Ladapo's worked quite hard, and he had his chance, and I think he should have cut across the defender and gone a bit more direct to goal, I think, before he had that shot. But I think he's done okay. But really, the ball spent so much time in the air that it's a bit difficult. They'll all have neck braces on tomorrow, I think. But I'd say Ladapo looks okay when we can get the ball to him. And Morsey's
should have hit the target. My only criticism, he's got to hit the target from that position.
Who's that?
He's got to work Ladapo. He's got to work the goalkeeper.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's pulled that. That's why I think he went sort of a bit away from the goal, didn't he? I'd like to have seen him try to run across the defender a bit more, maybe get a foul or something. Yeah.
Steve, who stood out for you in that first 45?
I think Walton. Yeah, a couple of good saves there. We're still so lucky to have him in this league. Of what's been a pretty shoddy team for that first half, I think he's been a bit of a shining light, really. Ladapo's been all right, like you say, but I think for me, Craig Lee's not been too bad, I suppose. But for me, I think Walton.
Perfect. Any changes for you, Lee, as we head out of this first half-time 10 minutes of the season?
I think he'll keep it the same for the next 15. I don't see changes, but that'll be the front that will change again.
What would you do when the changes are coming? What would you be looking to do?
I think Harness is doing okay. I'd keep him on. I would either put Harness on the right and bring TJ on, John Jules on. Would be one change.
Is it a game for him though? A physical one? Is today that type of game for a young lad?
The pacing behind, isn't it? It's the pacing behind that he's got. Is it physical? How much physicality is he putting into the game? Not so much. But we've got to get the ball into feet, haven't we? Not bouncing around people's waist and shoulders and heads. If we can keep the ball on the deck and play it into feet, then we've got half a chance. But Chaplin will come on at some point, I think, as well.
I'd like to see Chaplin. I think he's a tricky player that you can put it about as well.
But I think Ladapo might get a full game tonight because I can't see who's going to come on for him.
This is it. Good opportunity for him. Craig at Portsmouth, Chaplin and John Jules on for Chaplin and John Jules on for Jackson and Aluko. Aluko's been given the ball away more than any Town player. Josh Russell, Chaplin, Edwards and TJJ will come on, I reckon. Joe S, the second half will show progress has been made from last year. As Crunch mentioned at the weekend, these teams need putting away. Stevie, are you still confident?
More so than I was last year. It's been knocked a little bit with that first half, but more confident than last year because this time last year you get the feeling that when you go into a half time like this, Burton are going to nick a goal, run away with it. I'm confident we'll get something out of this game. Yeah, perfect. I think one thing that works very well for us is the fitness is good. That's a lot better than it has been. So even if they tire, I think we'll be okay. So, yeah, more confident.
Perfect. Steve is still confident. We are done for our first 10 minutes. We're back at full time. The moment the full time whistle goes, win, lose, or draw. Lee is coming in for Neil Moles' technical issues. It'll be myself, Lee, and Steve discussing hopefully 3 points and giving a live link for you to get involved and have your say. So join us the moment the full time whistle sounds. But until then, hopefully, I'll see you when we've scored a goal and won 3 points. Stay safe.
You make me smile when I think of you.